You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans. We saw the DiMera family having a moment of panic recently when it was thought that Tony DiMera went missing during his cruise in Greece. Now, let's be real. This was not for nothing. There is something to it. They didn't mention it. They didn't go into it for no reason. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about Tony DiMera and why he went MIA briefly while on a cruise with his wife, Anna DiMera. Did something sinister happen to Tony while he was left behind by the cruise ship? We're going to talk about that, but first, click that subscribe if you're not following us. So, EJ DiMera had a moment of stress, a moment of panic when Anna DiMera called him. She was all worked up and said his brother Tony went missing from their cruise. However, EJ also knows that Anna gets hysterical over almost nothing, but it did seem like a legit reason to raise the alarm. So EJ sent Kat Green to tell Chad DiMera the troubling news, while EJ made some calls and tried to sort out things, and he had a lot of other stuff on his plate. So after Kat told Chad, of course, he was really worried, just like EJ, but luckily it was all a huge misunderstanding and was about cell service and running late. Maybe, maybe not. That's the explanation, but was it really something that simple? Once Anna called back and told them Tony was fine, EJ and Chad were thrilled and relieved, and they kind of put it out of their minds. So Anna told them that Tony had a business meeting at the port of call in Greece, and it lasted longer than expected, and he didn't have cell service to let his wife Anna know he was running late. And if you've ever taken a cruise, you know, the ships leave port on a very strict schedule, whether every passenger is on board or not. That's up to you to get your booty back to the boat. Obviously, Tony knew this, so him sitting in a meeting for too long and deliberately missing the boat makes no sense. Plus, there's no way that Days of Our Lives wouldn't include this in the dialogue unless it meant something. So there is definitely something big up with Tony. And for a while, fans have wondered if Andre was the one in Salem and if the doppelgänger had taken over Tony's life. First of all, he was way too interested in the family business, DeMera Enterprises, which was out of character for him. Tony usually only cares about Anna and opera and traveling and being a suave, continental rich dude. Also, Tony was pretty vindictive by conspiring with Gabi and then flying Thaao in and using him to double-cross Gabi and threatening to sue Xander and Victor Kiriakis and take Titan from them when he was taking back DeMera. So it's all strange. Chad and EJ mentioned, as did Maggie, that it was not like Tony at all to behave the way we're seeing. But one thing I was wondering, wouldn't Anna know if Andre had taken her husband Tony's place? Well, the answer to that is maybe or maybe not. Andre has pulled off a swap before. Now, Anna was absolutely frantic when she called EJ to say Tony went missing from the cruise ship. But after Tony reached out to Anna, she immediately called EJ and explained things so that he wouldn't worry about his brother. Everybody was totally relieved, but I don't think they should be. This was not a simple missed boat incident. There is a lot more to it. Something went on with Tony in Greece, some sort of misadventure. First, who was he meeting with? Greece is Kiriakis territory, not DeMera territory. If you recall, Victor Kiriakis is from Greece, and the whole Kiriakis family still has connections there. So was Tony there looking into trying to do the Kiriakis family dirty for some reason? Was he meeting with somebody connected to the late, great Victor Kiriakis? Maybe. Also, maybe it was Tony in Salem before the cruise, but when he got off the cruise ship, maybe he got swapped for Andre at the meeting, or he was waylaid on his way to or from this mystery meeting. Anna told EJ that Tony was going to meet the ship at the next port of call, so it seems fine. But that also means that Anna hasn't laid eyes on Tony since this incident where he presumably went missing. That means if there was a swap, Andre has enough time to stash the real Tony somewhere and for Andre to settle into the role of pretending to be his brother Tony. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that Andre faked being Tony on Days of Our Lives. And yeah, Andre's supposed to be dead, but so many people, especially DiMera's, have returned from the dead on Days. So he could be another one of Dr. Rolf's resurrection miracle stories. We gotta wonder also if Stefano's in-house mad scientist brought Andre back to life right after he was dead, or if he's been in cold storage all this time. And Dr. Rolf may be in cahoots with Megan Hathaway again. If you remember, Stefano's psycho daughter Megan has a hidden lair in the Mediterranean where she had hidden Bo Brady. That's pretty close to where the cruise ship was. So did Tony meet with his sister Megan, or maybe Rolf? Or was Tony tricked into some business meeting only to be kidnapped by Megan and Rolf? Good questions, right? And don't forget, Days has been dropping hints all over the place. There's a new version of Stefano coming. Susan Banks mentioned a while back she felt Stefano's presence very strongly at the DiMera mansion. And suddenly we have Tony disappearing and reappearing. Plus, EJ's built that sketchy new science lab, and then Tony brought in a new and inexperienced CEO to run the family business. There's just so many strange things happening right now. Plus, Stefan DiMera and his nephew Dimitri von Leuschner haven't been seen or heard from in quite a while. Some fans wonder if Stefan or Dimitri may be the new version of Stefano. We know crazy Vivian always wanted her son Stefan to take over his dad's business. Plus, it would make Megan super happy to see Dimitri in a big role at DeMera Enterprises. Also, Marlena Evans is still acting weird. She's having those Queen of the Night dreams. The Arabian Nights book she was reading with Rachel also has a connection to Stefano. So we've yet to see all this play out fully, but there's just so many incongruous, strange things happening. And it was recently confirmed there's a big umbrella story involving EJ and the lab and the DiMeras once we hit the 60th anniversary of Days of Our Lives. And that comes next week as we're heading into November sweep. So this Tony thing in Greece could be leading up to something huge and ties back to this umbrella story that's been teased. So big stuff coming for the milestone anniversary. Let me know in the comments, what do you think really happened to Tony in Greece?
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.